So last time we did a theory of about how to design a structure, a business structure, in case if you are doing a fresh implementation for an organization. How do you need to design a structure, a business structure, organization structure, keeping your business requirements and needs in mind, and the accounting setup. So we'll move ahead with performing the accounting setups, which involves defining 4 C's and a ledger. Last time we could define only ledger, a calendar. Currencies we saw were seeded, were already provided by Oracle. So chart of account was another C that we had to see. Financials, flex fields, key segments. This is the screen where we define our chart of accounts. For application general ledger, this key flex field, accounting flex field, is owned by general ledger application. The block which you see here is the structure block where we can define our chart of accounts. So here I'm giving a name, the Aura Communication, Aura Groups, Aura Business Group. That was the Orange Business Group that we had picked up as a fictitious business of ours, for which we are designing a chart of account. A name and then the segments. Here I am designing a 4 segmented chart of accounts. They have a company. All these segments which we define here should follow in a sequence. There are n number of segments, 30 segments. Oracle provides 30 segments, out of which not all can be used. This is one ledger segment introduced by Oracle in R12 in this version, mostly used for reporting purposes when we do financial statement generator reporting, FSU reportings and other management reporting. Why this is used? This is nothing but the replica of whatever chart of account we are setting up. It's just the same setup here. The only difference is we can select multiple ledgers when we are drawing a report. So we can select multiple ledgers in a report. So whenever we are selecting segments, all these segments here are assigned some specific space in the back end. So those segments have to be sequential and a value set. This segment will contain values within itself. Later we'll define the values, but to define the attributes of those values, we need to use value set. Say what number, what length it is going to be, how it is going to be. Last time we saw some seeded one. If it's going to be list of values or long list of values, where a separate window opens and where we have to type in a partial value and search for the value among the list of values. So here I am defining a value set for this segment called company. It is going to be list of values, and then I say number, and it is the maximum size is 2. I can enter only 2 numbers. So if I justify 0 if it's numbers only, you can also select character in case if you have alphanumeric to be entered, combination of numbers and alphabets, say character and numbers only, then it is going to enter both of the numbers and as well as your characters. Likewise, we are going to define segments and their value sets. Select the value set which we defined just now and assign it to your segment. Second is a department or a division or a cost center which is responsible for booking all your profits. Select a segment. It also should be in sequence. Define a value set for this. Third, I'm defining the account. These three are mandatory. Whatever size the structure of your chart of account is, whatever the size is. Now, when we are defining chart of account, last time we also saw what considerations we need to keep in mind. If it's a global business, or it's a multinational business, or if it's got multiple intercompany transactions, the countries where it is operating, then there are a few more considerations that we understood. Nature of the business, if it's retail, manufacturing. Based upon that, we design these segments to capture meaningful business information for accounting. Always segments that we select should not be too many. If there are too many segments, maintaining data, recording transaction becomes very tedious. If it's too less, then not all information can be captured. So it should be very precise and very meaningful. Here I am selecting the already defined one, value set, operations account, because this will have all the list of values of possible accounts. So I will not have to define those accounts. Why I'm doing this? Because when we go into the application, we will have to select accounts at various stages. In that case, I cannot define each and every account by myself. I'm taking the seeded one. And fourth segment I'm selecting here is a product segment. We also want to, this business also wants to capture information depending upon what product they have sold. For this also I'm picking up, or maybe we can define, there will be few products, so we can define our own list of values. So let me define a value set for this. And assign the value set. Now that we have defined the segments, we need to classify them, how they are going to behave. For an application to understand, we need to associate flexible qualifiers to the segments.
Is that the number of value you can put, like you put the last account, 3 segments, so account can only be in 3 number of characters?
Sorry, in value set?
Maximum is 4, okay.
What's your question, Mohammed?
My question is that a segment you put it said maximum 4. So is this the next number of account number we created on our call is 4 numbers? Yeah, that's the maximum size. What is that?
No, this is for the values. This is for the values.
This is the values. Okay.
I'll tell you why we are doing this.
Okay.
So to these segments that we have defined here, we will associate qualifiers. Qualifiers are nothing but to identify what each segment is meant for. When we are doing accounting, the first accounting rule is accounts should be balanced. That means debit and credit should always be equal. For that, all the financial reports are drawn on the basis of the companies. In specific company, whatever transactions we do, financial reports are drawn on the company. So company will be associated with balancing segment, and this can be attached to only and only one segment, which is company. If you associate this to any other segments of product, at product level we are not balancing our accounts. At product level we are storing only product related information. So balancing segment should be associated only to the company segment and to no other segment. Otherwise there will be data corruption, because system will not be able to identify which is the correct balancing segment. Department is where you can say it's a cost center or it's a business unit where most of the transactions take place, sales and purchases of the organization. So we need to mark this cost center to department or business unit where we are doing daily transactions. So associate cost center segment to department. Again, this is unique and cannot be assigned to any other segment except cost center. Similarly, natural account, there has to be only one natural account segment which have the list of values of all your natural accounts, liabilities, receivables, assets. So only one segment can be identified as natural account segment, and you cannot duplicate this. Product, it's optional. So these three are mandatory, rest other are optional. To product, I can also associate management segment qualifier. We understood last time what this is. It's for management reporting. You want to have your draw your reports based upon products as well, how much product sales fee or how much the product's contribution has been in the revenues, or what was the profit that we have earned from respective products. For such reports we can associate that segment as management reporting segment, management segment. Now once we have our structure ready, you can come back to the main screen and do some cosmetic surgery here. These cross-validate rules we'll see later on. Allow dynamic inserts we need to enable for creating code combinations. Once you have defined your chart of account structure, assigned segments, defined your flexible qualifier value sets, come back and freeze your flexible definition. All this definition needs to be frozen and compiled. So opt for freeze flexible definition and compile. Once you do this, in the back end system will start compiling your definition. That means to segment 1 it will assign company, to segment 2 it will assign department. Whatever we have defined here, it will go back into this table, GL code combinations table. Everything is stored in the backend in the form of tables. Tables have got some set limit to store the values. So system is going to compile our chart of account definition by running a report. We can view report like this: view, requests, find. So here it is, flexible view generator. So these reports it is going to run. Now it's in pending normal. It will complete after some time. Now it's completed. Compile key flexibles and another report. Reports is nothing but combination of your SQL. There is a programming language which is used to build all this data. Whatever we enter into Oracle application from front end goes into back end and gets saved somewhere. So all that is being built by developers or programmers with the help of a programming language called PL/SQL. Now to enter values in the segments that we have created, being you are still in general ledger responsibility, set up financials, flex-fields, key, values. This is your navigation. Navigate to the values window. accounting flex field and structure is ours. Query for this, say find. Now what I was talking about there, the numbers which I have assigned there, Mohammed, it's for this. How many companies does this business has? Because when we are entering transaction, we need to specify the company, department, account, product. Whatever chart of account segments we have defined, we need to use those to enter a transaction. Say I have sold 5 televisions. So for which company, for which department, if at all it is there, and for which account is getting affected. When I'm selling, I am getting revenue, I'm getting money. So it's hitting revenue account. So all this information needs to be recorded with the help of code combination. And the segments which we have defined collectively form a code combination with the help of values which we are going to assign here. So this company segment will store how many companies Orange group of industries has got. We have what did we design last time? Orange Communication, I think Orange Infrastructure, and Orange Motors. So these 3 businesses are run by Orange Group of Industries, Orange Business Group. So the value that I mentioned there, say if I am entering 3, system will not let me enter 3. Why? Because it's more than 2 characters. The length I selected in my value set is 2. So value set is to determine your behavior of the value which you are inputting in your segment value. So I cannot enter more than 2. There was one company called Orange Communications. Second was Orange Motors. And third was Orange Infrastructure. Now these segments which we have defined here, these segment values, these are called as segment values. They have their own qualifiers. Previously what we understood were about the key flex field qualifiers. What we are looking into right now are segment qualifiers, which will determine if the budgeting needs to be allowed for these segment values, or these segment values needs to be posted or not. Again, posting will take place with the help of account code combinations that we enter in a journal entry or any form. So do you allow company 1? Now my cursor is on 01, which is Orange Communication. So for this company, Orange Communication, do you allow budgeting or not? Do you want to set up budgets for these companies to control your expenditures? You can select yes. There are only 2 values here, either yes or no. If you say no, then no budgeting can be done for Orange Communications. You cannot do budgeting for Orange Communication. In that case, if you have limited funds for Orange Communication, that kind of purpose will not be solved. Allow posting, again we are posting.
What does most company do on this field?
Sorry, come again. You were asking something, Mohammed.
I was asking what does the most company do on this? Do they put restriction on the budget?
No. This gives you an access. This will not restrict. It will give you an access whether you can create a budget. In general ledger, mostly to control our expenditures, budgeting will be done on account values or on company values. Any of these segment values you can create a budget. Say for Orange Communications, the business has decided they cannot spend more than 5,000 USD a month on some marketing. So they have to create a budget of 5,000. Now if you say no, if this option is no, you cannot create budgets for Orange Communication. So in that case, employees who are entering data for Orange Communication, they might be overspending. That is only in the end of the month, the financial manager will come to know how much expenditure was done. But if you want to control your expenses for any of these values, you can enable budget. We'll see about budgeting more in general ledger later on. So right now just remember, if you want to use or if you want to control expenditure on any of the segment values, use this option and keep it as yes, allow budgeting, yes. These qualifiers you need to set for all of the segment values. And allow posting should be mandatorily yes. If it is not yes, you cannot post any of the accounting entries. If none of the accounting entries will get posted, say for infrastructure, if I select posting as no, if I select this as no, then none of the accounting entries will get, or none of the transactions performed for Orange infrastructure will get posted if this option is no. And if there is no transaction, there is no financial report. So your allow posting has to be yes. For few segment values it will be no. I'll tell you in which situations it is going to be no. That we'll cover later on. Likewise for department also we can define values here, what all departments we are going to have in the business. To define these values, we don't have to blindly define these. When you are implementing Oracle application for the business, you need to sit with the business and understand their structure. Say Siemens Communication. Say you are appointed to implement ERP, Oracle ERP, Oracle e-business suite for Siemens Communication. In that case, you have to sit with the management there and understand what their business structure is, how many companies do they have, what all businesses do they have, and each respective business, what all departments do they have. Not all companies will have same departments. And then collect all this data, you have to document it somewhere and then implement it in the Oracle application. Implementation means setting it up in the Oracle application. So right now what we are doing is we are creating our own fictitious organization. Now again here the values, the numbers which I am selecting are limited only to 3 because the value set for department has the length of 3. In the previous screens we have done that some time back. When we define value set, we define only for 3. Now here I am creating departments. So they can be a number of departments. The communication is 1. Communication can be 1. They also have an IT department which takes care of IT infrastructure, IT related activities. There is also an operations department. Company also, this business also has R&D, research and development, which does research on their current and future products. So we are replicating the actual business, the real-time business we are replicating in this ERP. Why we are using this ERP is to automate business transactions, business activities. What was happening in reality, we need to automate in ERP. So all the business details that are there in real time need to be set up in Oracle applications too for transactions to take place. Then they have sales department. Now always the numbering, make sure you take care of these numbering also, they are important. Say now sales. Under sales I have multiple other departments too. So I am numbering at 050Y because 051, these 5 series of 50 to 59 can define lot many sales departments. There is international sales also. Then 052 regional sales, 053 regional east sales. So like this you need to understand business so well so that you can replicate all that actually in the application and do not miss anything. If you miss gathering some requirement from the business and you miss recording it here or setting it up here, definitely it is going to be a big problem for the business. So always when you gather requirements and when the documentation done, those are always be sent for final sign-offs from the end user who are going to use this application. Now this chart of account setup is done at the higher level. So all the managers, CEOs of their respective departments, CFOs, CIOs, they will be included in the meeting. So say there's another 06 manufacturing department. So like this you can create a number of departments. Now again all these need to be associated with a qualifier as I specified last time. Specific departments can also have budgeting. Used mostly when we are controlling expenses here with respect to say monthly expenses, recurring expenses, utility bills, rents. For those things these are very useful. Allow budgeting is very useful in those scenarios. So assign these segment qualifiers to all of your segments values. So that is it. Now let's go to another segment. Department is done. Account. For account I already selected. I mentioned when we were defining value set that I'm picking up a predefined value set, operations value set, which is existing just because of this, because there are thousands of accounts, cash account, short-term investments account, receivables account. There are n number of accounts to be used. So there are thousands and thousands of accounts. So all these will be predefined if I select that value set. Now in these, when you are defining values for accounts, they will have different qualifiers. Apart from allow budgeting and allow posting, there will be 3 additional qualifiers to determine what each account is. Now 14181 is maintenance resource. It's kind of a asset account for us. Now if I take land here, 1510, land is what type? Asset account. So these are various types of accounts which we can use in when the transactions are taking place. They will be classified based upon these accounts. revenue, liability, expense, budgetary. Ownership or stockholders equity account is the one which the owner gets in for the initial investment. What type of account is you need to classify here. Reconciliation we'll see later on. Third party control account is you can determine if this is for a customer or a supplier. I'll tell you why this is introduced here. When we touch upon customer and supplier definition, then we'll discuss about the third party control account. So likewise, select all your accounts, whether what type they are, you need to select here. Product. Next segment is product. What products this company has. Now it will have multiple products. Why? Because Orange Communication is a different business which will have its own products. Orange Motors is a different business which will have its own products. Orange Infrastructure will have its own products. So here you need to define all the possible products that a company is dealing with. So first one, I'm selecting default because not all the time we can do transaction based on products. There could be transaction for some services also. Say now, I'm defining this for Orange Communication. They have some wireless, say wireless telephone is one of their products. It's a communications business, right? So wireless telephone could be one of theirs. They also manufacture CCTV cameras and you can make it different. CCTV cameras and recording equipments. Why I'm numbering like this? Because later on, if company starts manufacturing something else in communications business, after 200 you can list down. Okay, it can be 201 or 202, 207, 2010. So like this you can classify your products, and that way it will give you a more organized look. You're getting me? So in real time there will be thousands and thousands of products which you will have to understand with the business what all are the classes and subclasses, and then come up with a list of values of the segment values. Now say for example infrastructure. Sorry, infrastructure, what they can manufacture. It can be anything, lot of things in infrastructure. Say steel wire cables is one thing they can. Now under this steel wire, there can be many types of steel wires, isn't it? There can be PC cables. Okay. So 501 is falling under steel wires. So that's how you can make it more organized. 502 we can make it as say string wire, something like that. Similarly for motors, say if they have motors business, so what all products do they have for motor vehicles? They manufacture sedans. Now when they manufacture sedans, what all products they also maybe they manufacturing by themselves as well. Say brakes, related to motors, isn't it? Not related to communication. So I am putting it under series of 06. and rear view mirror. Like this you can classify your products. Again, these products will also have allow budgeting and allow posting. Okay, so that is all about our chart of account segments and segment values. So when we close this, system will automatically start compiling it by running a report. So in this define accounting setups, we have to define ledger. For ledger, we have defined 4 C's. Right, so we need to go ahead and define a ledger now.